Today, I'm going to go through 3 classes for the Firebug class. Keep in mind, all these classes are just my opinion and your opinion may be different. Let's get into the first class. The perks for the first class are going to include High Capacity Fuel Tank, which increases magazine size for all perk weapons by 100%. I'll explain this later. The second perk is going to be Ground Fire. Your third perk will be Z Shrapnel. However, it doesn't really matter, both options are good. And the last perk is going to be Heat Wave. If you're level 25 with Firebug, you can choose whatever perk you prefer, but personally I choose Z-Time Pyromaniac. Now that you've gotten the perks, let's get into the weapons. The weapons you're going to use for this loadout are the microwave gun and the Spitfires. The Spitfires will be used for trash clearing and bosses, even heavy enemies. The high ammo capacity perk is really going to help out with the Spitfires to deal with huge amount of damage to almost any enemy if you rapid fire at the enemy. The microwave gun is used when you're under a lot of pressure and need to switch weapons. What I like to do for the microwave gun is use the secondary fire for heavy enemies to knock them out, and I like to use the Spitfires to take out bosses and trash. If you don't use the Spitfires, you could substitute the Spitfires with the flamethrower. It's just as good for trash clearing, but I recommend you stick to the Spitfires so you can take care of those bosses and heavier enemies by rapid firing the whole magazine at them. The next loadout is going to be mainly for trash clearing, and the perks are a little different from the first loadout, with the first perk being Bring the Heat, the second perk being Ground Fire, the third perk being Z Shrapnel, but once again either option is fine, they're both really good, and the final perk is Heat Wave. Now that you have your perks, the weapons are going to be the Flamethrower and the Husk Cannon. The Flamethrower is going to be used as your trash clearer, and most of the time this is the weapon you're going to have out and equipped. To clear trash mainly, the Husk Cannon is going to be used to deal damage to those heavier enemies like bosses and Skrakes and whatnot. But as you can see from the gameplay, with about 3 shots, they're going down quite easily, clearing any trash in the area as well as a bonus. If you don't really want to use the Flamethrower, you can substitute it with the Spitfires, sort of like the first loadout, but I would highly recommend you stick with the Flamethrower for this particular loadout. The third loadout is going to be the exact same perks as loadout 1, except the weapons are going to be the fire round shotgun and the Husk Cannon. This isn't really a good build for being strategic or making it to very high rounds. It's more of just a fun one, and I thought I would put it in this video because this class, I find it really fun to destroy things, hordes of enemies, and overall it's just fun to play. The shotgun is used pretty much for everything, and the Husk Cannon is used for mainly hordes and bosses. But the explosiveness of this loadout is what makes it fun to play, and honestly just makes it a blast. If you want to know what loadout I would highly recommend the most out of these 3, it would definitely be loadout 1. This loadout is going to help you throughout the whole game, as the Spitfires come in useful in almost like any situation, and the microwave gun is just a fantastic backup weapon and great for dealing damage to Skrakes and other heavy enemies as like flashbounds. It's even good for dealing with grouped up hordes of enemies. The secondary fire of the microwave gun can pretty much just barge through everything when used correctly. It's really good for bosses as well. You can just unload round after round and magazine after magazine into bosses with the Spitfires. And if you really ever get cornered, you can quickly switch to the microwave gun and use a secondary fire to get out of that situation. And I really think it's just a brilliant class. It's the class I always use, and it's done fantastic for me. But anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. Remember, this is just my opinion on what the loadouts are. The best loadouts are, for the Firebug, and yours may be different, but thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video I post. Farewell.